So, today I have just 2 points, 2 brief points. One is for the incoming students, and one for parents, whether it be mother and father, or the mother or the father who wears both hats. So let me start with the incoming students. Now this is the most important part because this is about you. But I will not leave out the parents. Let us get into a piece of scripture. John chapter 13, verse 7. Now during this time in the Bible, Jesus was about to be betrayed. It was right before the Last Supper, and he was in the process of washing the feet of his disciples. So chapter 13 verse 7 reads, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will." Now young man, what does that mean? Let me tell you who I am. All you would have known up until a few minutes ago is that I'm a pastor. I started at this great institution in 2002, straight into A levels, completed in 2009. I went then to the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, which is in Jamaica, from 2009 to 2012. I returned home with a Bachelor of Arts in Media and Communications. The funny thing about this is, I've never, ever wanted to do anything in the field of media or communications. My dream, from since I've known myself, was always to be a pilot. And unfortunately at the time, it didn't happen. When I was in the process of making my exit and transitioning from secondary school, and at that time I hoped it would have been into a flight school, my parents, particularly my father, told me no. He said, "We don't have the money for that. You have 3 younger brothers, you can't afford that." Now at the time, and it has only increased, the cost to be a pilot is enormous. So I accepted that. But remember, you may not know what I'm doing now, but soon you will realize. And I had the benefit, particularly during my A levels 2-year period in the school, where I was given the opportunity, I was pushed by various teachers who saw an ability in me to do public speaking. And it augured extremely well. And not knowing what I would have wanted, had I not been allowed to become a pilot or go to flying school, what was the alternative? I didn't even know. And at that time, my mother would have indicated to me that she saw a program at UB Mona, Jamaica, as I mentioned, that does media and communication. So I said, what I have to lose? What is there to lose in this situation? What is there to lose? What do I have to lose in this situation? To me, it is really only going to be a meaningful experience for me. I must gain something at least from this. Blindly I entered into that. Stayed 3 years. Completed my degree on time. Returned home. And again, with the guidance of my mother, who I will also let you all know about shortly, I had the privilege to write an exam to enter into the government service. I wrote it. Not doing anything about ministry A from ministry Y or anything like that. And it is not going to work out in the way you want it to. Because as I said, you may not know what I am doing now, but soon you will realize. Sometimes these things are stepping stones, and it positions you into the place that you need to be. What is important that while you go through the process, you keep the faith. That's the first thing. Have a relationship with the Lord. Because the funny thing is, something I bounced up recently, these popular folks in the Bible that we have known so well through their various stories. Peter, he had a bad temper. Johann ran away from God. Remember, he ended up in the belly of the beast, in the whale. Thomas was a doubter, and the list goes on and on and on. But still, these people were chosen by God. The meaning behind this, He does not call the anointed, He anoints the called. And it is important to understand that. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be born with a golden spoon in your mouth. Your parents don't have to be rich. You don't have to have both parents even in the home. But He anoints the call. And what is important for you while you traverse life's challenges, and this school is not going to be a walk in the park. You're going to do subjects that you have never heard about before. Some of which you may dislike, some of which you may grow a fond affection for. You may be at the top of the class in some of these subjects. But it is important to have faith, be patient, and sometimes be quiet. And before I move on to the parents, I have one last point for these students today. Let me get back. Ephesians chapter 6. It talks about, what I'm going to say here is something I've seen with my own two eyes in my own home. And it would be remiss of me if I don't share it. I feel like if I come here and I don't say it, I'll be doing a disservice to the students here today. Children, obey your parents. Because you belong to the Lord, and it is the right thing to do. Honor your father and your mother, and things will go well. It didn't say maybe, it didn't say might or could. Things will go well. And of course, your life will be long. We always hear that last part. Honor your father and your mother, life will be long and good. But we forget the part, things will go well. Your parents would have birthed you. They would have shielded you from whatever they would have reasonably been expected to do. I don't think there's any child here could stand and say, I don't like my parent. My mother didn't do this for me. My father didn't do this for me. They tried their best. And you know that in your heart. So honor them. I have seen stories, as I said, within my own life, where children have disobeyed their parents. And up to now, they don't know if they're coming or they're going. They don't know if they're on the belly or the back. They don't know anything. Because time would have passed in a way where they have found themselves lost. But had they listened, because a parent would have been the older one in the home to give a story to say, well, you know, when I was so, whatever, I did this, I did that, or I remember the neighbor, so, whatever. There's some story, there's some reference they can make. They're born big just like that. So what I'm saying is, honor your father and your mother and things will go well. If you forget anything else I say, remember that. And last but certainly not least, as I wrap up, I cannot leave out the parents. Cannot. Parents, I have something for you today. What I have for you today is this. Very, very short. Very, very short. I'm going to make an adjustment to a quote that was coined by a former president of the United States. He was making a speech during his inauguration. This president at the time was John F. Kennedy. As I said, I'm going to make an adjustment to his speech. Ask not what this school can do for your son. Ask what you can do for your son's school. What I mean by that? Your son is not here and operating on autopilot. Schools need support. And that is where you come in. Do not rely on the Ministry of Education to provide everything. It is impossible. It cannot be found in anywhere in the world where a ministry provides 100% of things for a school. Impossible. Parents, the group of other parents that you're seeing here is an extension of your family. There's going to be friends of friends making right here that will last the test of time. My age, there are friends I had that were in the school with me that I still speak to. I can pick up my phone right now and call them. Sometimes you will occasionally will go for a little line, a little drink, a little something, a little movies here and there, you know? Sometimes we even travel together. These opportunities start right here, just via networking. Parents need not constantly ask what the school is doing for your son. Ask what you can do for the school. It is important that you ask that question. It is also important that you take time with your child. Take time. Take time. You were a child yourself. You know how sometimes life can be? The ups and downs, the unknown future. You all know it very well. And some of you may have better stories than I do. I don't know. But don't put your nose in the air and feel because you would have conquered that all of a sudden your child would be covered and he should not go through certain things. He will. It's part of growing up, it's part of learning, and I'm asking you to be there, be still, have a conversation. Don't be quick to anger, even though I know sometimes how children can be. I probably was one of the most worst behaved in my home. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, son, how was school today? What happened? The goal of this school is not just to create a bookworm or a church mouse. It is to create a well-rounded student. A well-rounded student jack of all trades. Nobody could look at him and speak to him and try to chain him up, as we say, or pull wool over their eye, because they see further than those things. They have street smarts. There are many sports in this school that you can find yourself involved in. Support him. And young men, you may be having an interest in any sport, go right ahead. I think it starts from as early as Form 2 or Form 1. Go right ahead. You want to be well-rounded. And as I end my speech, let me just end it with 3 Latin words. Nil omnino Christo. Christ above all. Students, parents, welcome to St. Benedict's College. Thank you very much.